Hey everybody, welcome to McKellar Motivational Monday. My phone just gave me a notification that I've gone live. That's funny. Hey, oh good, it's all working. Okay, so I'm on Periscope, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'm not sure why the lighting is so moody and scary tonight, but whatever, I've got like this big shadow behind me. Hey, so welcome everybody. It's kind of late. It's just one of those days. Day got away from me. Good evening. Hey, Paul Green, how you doing? So we're talking today about helping others and like when to do it and when not to do it, basically. And we're going to exchange some ideas, but I know we all think of like helping people is always good, and mostly it is. Noir style. We'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to hear where you guys are watching from and participating from. Washington State. Yes, it's Noir style. Hey, Mom. I like seeing people that I know on here. That's always fun and exciting. Tennessee, Oregon, Tacoma, Washington, San Diego, Minnesota, Kansas, Mexico, Boston. Boston, it's late in Boston. Thanks for joining. It is late. Yeah, the lighting is kind of like, yes, is it noir style? I'm not sure. It's kind of edgy. I'm not in Ottawa anymore. I'm done shooting Matchmaker Mysteries. So excited about it. By the way, if you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's, on Facebook and Instagram, it's Matchmaker Mysteries, all one word. Matchmaker Mysteries, you'll find out all about this really cool mystery show that I'm doing that premieres on October 6th on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. I love it. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to see it. And they're just doing the first edit right now. So I haven't seen it yet. It's really fun. I play Angie Dove, a matchmaker who also solves mysteries. So and then on Twitter, it's just Match Mysteries, all one word. Anyway, I've been like posting all sorts of fun clues and things, and it's been awesome to kind of do that account as well. Thank you, Justin. You know, it's good lighting though. Thanks, Mom. She's put Matchmaker Mysteries. Yes. So every week, usually on Monday, we get together and talk about something that's going to make our lives a little better. Something, some trick, some tip. Sometimes it's just like a cool breathing technique that I like, or whatever. Today it's a little more philosophical. It's not going to be a super long one, but I think we can like hang out for like 15 minutes. Periscope mic is lower than on Instagram, but I'm loud enough. You saw me today in Very, Very Valentine. That's one of my favorite Hallmark movies that I've done. I love that. You're watching from Melbourne? Very cool. Howdy, Caliburn. Love from Iowa. Thank you so much. So, yes, Motivational Monday. So this is McKellar Motivational Monday, and today we're going to talk about helping other people. And I was thinking about it because there have been friends of mine who needed help, and I you know, and you this feeling of helping can feel so good. And really the summary of what I want to talk about, really what it comes down to is if it feels good to give, then that's the right time to give. That's the right situation in which to give. And sometimes when we're not feeling good about ourselves at all, if we give to another person, whether it's our time, we volunteer, we just get on the phone and just listen to them because they're going through their own stuff, we can often feel like we're filled with a sense of purpose that drags us out of our own sad feelings or whatever's going on with us. So that's a great technique. But sometimes on the other side of things, we can get into helping somebody so much that it ends up dragging us down and we end up feeling like something's being taken from us. Better to give than to receive, Mystic Ninja? Well, I would argue, yes, mostly, but not always. It's a flow. Okay, so this is my favorite book ever, as a lot of you guys know, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And Deepak Chopra talks about, it looks like I'm in a blanket tent. Oh my gosh, that is so true, Bam Bam. That's it. It's like I'm holding a flashlight. Anyway, I just didn't nail the lighting tonight because I'm in a hurry. And you'd think I'd have it nailed by now, right? You'd think I'd like have my whole thing. But every time I sit down to set up, I was like, what do I do? Anyway. Talking about giving, and when we're giving from a place of love, like it's a gift, and it just feels right, then it's right. But I think if we get into this mindset of like, well, we always need to give of ourselves, like a lot of moms go through this, where, and sometimes we have to, and it's fine, but sometimes we we get into this place where we're giving to not just our kids, like everyone and everything else except for ourselves, and then we get depleted. And there's a proverb that talks about making sure that your own bowl is full so that you can give to others. We have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Like on an airplane when they say put your own oxygen mask on first and then put it on your kids, and it seems so wrong. You're like, wait a minute, don't you love your kids? Yes, but it's a balance. And I think the way to know if you're in that balance or not is just listen to your gut. Just listen to yourself. Close your eyes and be like, does this feel right, or do I feel out of balance? And if you're feeling out of balance, like you're giving too much too often and you're not listening to yourself, and sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes we are helping other people because we're distracting ourselves from our own issues. It's a lot easier to be like, oh, these people have all these problems, and I'm going to fix all their problems while ignoring what I really need. And so I go home and I eat a bag of potato chips and a carton of ice cream and watch Netflix all night because I don't want to face what I'm really going through. So much easier. It is, right, though, isn't it much easier to deal with other people's problems? I haven't asked you guys any questions yet. Yes, David, kids come first, absolutely. Unless if it's an oxygen mask, I guess. Yes, we have to be strong so we can serve others. Netflix and chill. I did not know what that meant for the longest time, by the way. Netflix and chill. Some of you guys might not know what it means either. And I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to look it up. But it might not be what you think. Thank you, Clint. Balance is the key, Peter. Yes. You're always the go-to person when it came to solving other people's problems, CM? Yeah. Your mom tells you you take on too much, Maluka? Maybe you are. Moms know. Right, Richard. Sometimes people just don't, the help is not going to work. It's not going to work. When I was in college, I had a boyfriend who had some substance abuse issues, and he was sober while I was with him mostly. But I went to these meetings called Al-Anon meetings, and I learned a lot about codependency and about when you get so invested in someone else's issues that you get all wrapped up in it, then you lose yourself. And that doesn't actually help anybody. It's called enabling, and then you're not actually helping the other person. You're certainly not helping yourself. I remember feeling like I was running in quicksand, like I was expending all this energy trying to help, and really all I was doing was digging myself into a hole. Have any of you guys ever felt like that? No is a complete sentence, and it's okay to say it. Mashable. It's a cool name. Did you, aimless artist? How serendipitous that this would be the topic tonight. My next movie, Jimmy, is going to be Matchmaker Mysteries on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries on October 6th. And follow me at, see, this is Periscope. So on Twitter, it's Match Mysteries. Your friend is going through this now, Kristen? Yes, Chris, codependency is almost as bad as the addiction. I completely agree, at least from my point of view. I've never, thank goodness, never struggled with addiction problems, so maybe I don't want to say that because maybe it isn't as bad, but it's bad. It's a legit problem like addiction is. Let's put it that way. You got stories, Mark? Hey, Suzanne. I'm sure it's hard to say no to your adult daughter. I can't even imagine. I mean, my child is 9 and he's completely dependent on me still. But that will change. You're always putting everyone else first before yourself, Janelle? Yeah, I mean, that's something a lot of us do. And let me be clear. Helping others is a beautiful, wonderful thing if you do it right. And if it feels right. And if you're not just running in quicksand like I have before. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. It drains your energy, Kelly. Yes, it does. Well, Chris, you are one of those people too. Remember that. You spent years helping a friend with an eating disorder and depression. Yeah, and you know what? Look, there's some things you can do to help, I think. But a lot of times, we just have to check ourselves. Anyway, Chapter 2 in the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. There's no... Yeah. You love helping too, John. Yes, and it's wonderful. And sometimes it's easier to help people you don't know. Because then there's no strings attached and you're not helping for any reasons of control. Sometimes we help because we think we know what's best for somebody, and then we're trying to control them for whatever reason. I don't know. There's something about human beings and wanting to control other human beings. I don't know exactly what that's all about, but it explains most of the wars and the other issues that we have on this planet. But what Deepak Chopra says about giving, I really, really like. It says the intention behind your giving and receiving, and he puts giving and receiving together, which I find interesting. Let me see. Wait. Okay. So the more you give, the more you will receive. Wait, where's the part that I want to read? Anything that is of value in life only multiplies when it's given. It's kind of interesting. If through the act, this is important, if through the act of giving you feel that you have lost something, then the gift is not truly given. If you give grudgingly, there's no energy behind that giving. So, but my takeaway from that is if you, when you're giving, feel like you're losing something, and if it's not making you feel all sorts of warm fuzzies, then maybe it's not right. Maybe it's not the right time, the right person, the right whatever to give. It's kind of like lending somebody money. You can't lend somebody money, you'll just lose a friend. And that's just what happens. So you give money. You can give money. You can give money to somebody. But you must give it with no intention of ever giving it back. And it must feel right. It must feel right. Otherwise, it's a bad idea for so many reasons. Yes, your cup has to be full in order for you to fill others. That's true. So, okay, so he says, it is the intention behind your giving and receiving that is the most important thing. The intention should always be to create happiness for the giver and the receiver. The act of giving has to be joyful. The frame of mind has to be one in which you feel joy in the very act of giving, which is why, you can go to a homeless shelter or volunteer in a soup kitchen, and it just feels good. It just feels good to do stuff like that because there's nothing else attached to it. And I'm not saying not to help your friends and family. My goodness, of course, absolutely. But it's so, yes, give with a joyful heart, Leo. Yes, yes, Robert, if you give money, you better not be expecting it back or it'll only lead to problems. And you have to make sure the person you're giving money to knows very clearly you do not expect it back. Because if they're not clear on that, you will still lose that friend. That's just what it is. God searches the intent of the heart, Jay Douglas. That is one way of looking at it. And that might work for some people. And for me, I know that even beyond there being some external force watching me, knowing what my intentions are, it is in the feeling that I have in my own heart and my own body. If I'm giving to somebody and it feels like it's taking from me, it just messes everything up. And there's no other better scientific way that I can say that. It just messes everything up. But if you can give in the right mindset, hang on a second, what does Louise say? Just do right, Louise. Yes, well, yes. So if you can give from a place of joy and love, then you will continue to have something to give. And that's really the point, isn't it? I mean, a lot of us give in a lot of ways, whether it's through our work or through family or whatever it is. But if you give from a place of love and joy, you will be able to keep giving. And if you don't, you will deplete yourself. And you won't have anything left to give. It feels good to give. Yes, it does, Helen. But make sure it feels right. Make sure it feels right. Don't give just to give because you think you're supposed to. That's my advice anyway. Yes, Jenna, if giving leaves you feeling depleted, then the balance is off. Give freely and expect nothing in return, Joey. And you know what that also applies to? It also applies to relationships with your partner. If you do something nice for your partner, make sure that you're not keeping a tally and a score. Make sure you're just doing it because you love them. And put it in your mind. Say to yourself, you know what? I'm just giving with nothing. I'm not expecting anything in return. And if anything, this is a thank you for all the wonderful things this person has done for me. And that's it. Oh, my pleasure, Minoka. Yeah, and sometimes when you give, when you're going to give, you're like, I have no time. I have no time for this. But if it feels right, just like anything else in life, if it feels that right, you will make time for it. And if it doesn't, maybe it wasn't right. Yes, Gamer Peeps, you should throw away your scorebook. Although if your name is Gamer Peeps, then you probably play a lot of games. Keep those scorebooks, but not the one in the relationship. Kathy says, when you set yourself up to be everyone's anchor, you jump ship on yourself. That's interesting. I like that. Vienna, is there a theme? The only theme to these Motivational Mondays is that we try to talk about something every week that will help us have a better week and a better life. Some sort of life hack, some way of thinking of something. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate it. I didn't have a chance to read yours, Richard. Sorry, it looked like it was longer. Hey, David Hayes. Thanks for watching. Oh, thank you, Gruber Janet. Oh, thank you, Mike, saying that he liked my movie Love and Sunshine that premiered a couple weeks ago. It's going to re-air on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock Central, which I love that movie, Love and Sunshine. I thought it was so sweet. That movie had a theme of service in it, giving of yourself in service. I thought it was a beautiful movie. So, my friend who has MS always said, use me but don't abuse me. That's a good point. That's a good way of looking at it. Sometimes the people want to give back to feel that they earn it. Yeah? But just make sure it all feels good. I really believe in listening to your gut. We are so distracted by so many things that keep us from listening to our gut. We have our phones and our TVs and our iPads and everything else. And all that is fun and great, but it can distract us from listening to ourselves. And one of the ways that I find it's great to listen to yourself is through meditation. Just being quiet by yourself. And you can ask yourself when you get really, really quiet, and some people do this in prayer, for some people it's meditation, some people don't do it at all. And I really recommend that you find moments to be quiet throughout the day, 10 minutes, 15, 20 if you can, and just be quiet and have nothing external coming to you, and just breathe and ask questions and wait for an answer to come. Yes, can do things without needing reciprocation. And it's not easy because we all want stuff. Chuck, 2 dogs played Sunshine in the movie, to answer your question. I should do a book called Motivational Mondays. Randy, thank you. I don't know, maybe. I'm writing my math book still. You can't beat that gut feeling, it's true. I do love meditation. My mom is a meditation instructor, by the way, Mihaela McKellar. You can find her on Instagram and Periscope and Twitter. Thank you, Sarah. I am filming a Christmas movie, woohoo, not till October, though. Clint, I try to meditate once a day. It usually ends up being about 4 times a week. Sometimes 5. Sometimes 7, but not always. Your gut has kept you safe on many occasions. That's wonderful. Any tips for not being single? You mean like you are single and you don't want to be single? I don't know, man. I always found somebody when I wasn't looking. I would say, you know what my tip for being single would be? Fall in love with yourself. Be like the most awesome person ever, just to the point where you're like, man, I wish I could be with somebody like me. And then guess what? You are with somebody like you. Think about that. Prefer your own company to anyone else's. So I should go, you guys. Yes, Apocalypse Agape. An interesting, provocative name. Raising that vibrational frequency. I appreciate all of you so much. How many math books have I written? Have I written or that are actually out? I think there are 8 of them out now. Yes, and 1 more coming out. So I've written 2 more than that. So I've written 10. 8 of them are out. 1 comes out in November. 1 of them I'm still kind of working on. And there are 2 more that I'm still under contract for. Anyway, go to McKellarMath.com. You can find out all that stuff. McKellarMath.com. My math books for kids ages 0 to 16. So thank you for all of your follows and your shares, and I appreciate you so much. I appreciate getting together and talking about this stuff. I always get really cool ideas and inspiration from what you guys are saying, and that's it. I will see you guys next week, and in the meantime, please go check out my Matchmaker Mysteries Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. It's Matchmaker Mysteries, all one word, on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter it's just Match Mysteries. So I hope you really have fun following along with that, and I look forward to seeing you there. And otherwise, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for watching the Danny Cam. Bye.